A lot of lessons from the other night. I think that I've watched the game twice, and before we jump into Valpo and the return of Roger, we faced a really good basketball team, a very, very connected team. I thought they were terrific. Marquette's, I think, what we're hoping to be in terms of just the connectivity, especially on the defensive side. I thought we did some really good things defensively. I got the question post-game, did we shoot too many threes? I wish we would have shot more. We shot 33, 34%, and man, we had some really good looks. We missed too many layups, we didn't play with enough pace offensively. One thing Marquette did was play with great pace, but that allows them to get their angles. We did that in the Kansas exhibition, played with great pace. We got to get back to that. So this is a sequence of games where we try to set something like this almost every year if we're not in a day-to-day MTE, NCAA tournament-like. We've got a very quick turn on Friday and then Sunday. And, it challenges your guys mentally to have to focus and switch scouting report. Rogers, bringing in his first year, he's doing a terrific job. From the film that I've gathered, there's definitely very much of a Gonzaga influence in what he's doing. They're playing extremely fast. They're really pushing it in transition. A lot of the open concepts they played with at Gonzaga, they have him play here. We'll see a lot of zooms, a lot of dribble handoffs. He's that team will continue to get better as the season goes because they're doing a lot of the right things and they're playing really, really hard. So it's always, I think, special to see a former player come back home. I think it's unique. One that was as good as Roger and has had as much impact on this program. And then it's as a coach, it's also a guy who's been very, very well respected in the coaching profession that is now getting his opportunity, and he's in year one and going through all the things that happen with that. But he's got a nice team. They're very athletic, and we're going to have to play well to bounce back from Marquette and work on some of the things that we need to get better at, and they'll provide a stiff challenge.
I mean, Quincy also, talks about playing with more tempo, running the floor better. Just what will get you maybe into that kind of style? What'll help you do that better?
Literally something just as simple as running the floor. We didn't run. We were playing at a snail's pace, and we had 4 or 5 possessions where Ty Rogers sprinted the ball up the court and outran our wings, who were literally walking or jogging. We had multiple possessions where we didn't get set in offense until there were 16 or 17 on the shot clock, and those limit getting the ball turned, getting your ability to get multiple sides. They take away your advantage in trying to score under 7 seconds. I played guys too long, it's on me. It's not them. It's on me getting them to play that way. We spent a bunch of time on it early, and now as we've got into games, we haven't done it as much, and we got to continue to practice that way because this team is very effective when we play with efficiency. I thought Amani was special because he rim ran. He put great pressure on the rim. That forces a defender there. We had a 1.54 OER when he was in the game, which was elite. It's little things like that. So we've got to get back to playing with pace and just simple things. Running the floor and sprinting the ball up the court will help.
Coach, were you a big fan of that 04, 05 team and how they played?
Yeah, absolutely. That team was connected. That team was that was an old team. It was a veteran team. It's a team that had been together. They knew what each other had for breakfast. They knew what kind of toothpaste they used. I mean, that was a team that knew each other extremely well. And when you get that, and again, that's how I started this thing off today with Marquette. That was them. That's everybody who played in the game against us against Marquette played 2 years ago. And there's a uniqueness to that in today's world. And but I also know we're not very far off. We should have won that game, and we had some unfortunate turnovers, and we were right there. And we just got to keep growing and doing what we're doing. And I love our team ceiling because we're not even close to it yet.
Justin Harmon's got off to a bit of a slow start. What are you seeing with him, and what do you need from him?
Yeah, it's I think it's a little typical for transfers to get off. I go back to a little bit like Plummer in his early start. You're trying to figure out, when you transfer, you're trying to figure out where you get your stuff. How do I get it? And there's different terminology. There's different techniques. We're a little different than he played at Utah Valley, but he was great today in practice. I think he's understanding the tempo with which we want to play. I think the pit bull, dog mentality on the defensive side, he has that in him, and I think he can be just a maniac on the defensive side in terms of guarding, and he's got good athleticism. He's strong, so I think he's gaining in those areas. And I don't want to make I don't think there's too much to be made out of his numbers, but I think he's getting better every day.
I guess just with that connectivity piece, I mean, what gets your team there? I mean, is it just a matter of playing more?
Yeah, simple. Just playing. Just continuing to play. This group is really connected, both on the court and off the court. It's just it's just okay. This is how we do things, and it becomes, it's no different than, the cliche. You kind of live your life in a rut. Sometimes you do the same things over and over and over, and we want to practice boredom. We want to practice the same things over and over and over and over in practice, so they become habit. And when that habit happens, everybody knows what the other four guys are going to do. And those are the things that help build that camaraderie and that chemistry. And I think we're still finding that a little bit with who plays what, who plays where, identifying roles. We're getting pretty close. I like the fact that this group is really connected, and this group is really tough, and we're practicing at a really, really high level. Not quite every day, but we're getting pretty close. And when we do that, that connectivity will happen faster than it will had we not be doing that.
3 games into Dre Gibbs Lawhorn's career, so admittedly a small sample size, but how do you assess him? Is he kind of on schedule as a freshman there?
Yeah, I think that he got good looks the other night. I think he made 37 in a row yesterday. Tyler told me, threes. He's a terrific shooter, and it's about finding that, seeing that ball go in, on a continual basis. That was a high level game. That was a physical game. That was a game with great athletes. That's something that was a new experience for him. It was a little different. It was Eastern, and it was a little easier. All those things are helping him, and I'm so excited about that young man's path. We need him. We need him to be. He helps raise our ceiling. And so I think he's on a great path, and I think he's a young man who hasn't got discouraged. He keeps working and grinding every day. He keeps getting his shots every day, and when that happens, usually young guys keep moving forward at a pretty good clip.
Brad, all of us remember those first moments when you have your first child. How have you seen Quincy handle both being a dad and basketball and school and everything that he's had to do?
Well, he's got a smile on his face every day, which is still good, which means he's probably getting a little sleep. No, I think that's obviously one of the great moments of anybody's life is when your children are born, and he's handled that. Yet he's been very professional. He's shown up every day. He hasn't changed his workout routines. He's always been a guy who gets a lot of shots. He's fought a little wrist deal. He's still getting his treatments and doing his recovery stuff. So I think he's found, and Quincy's really mature. So I think he's found a way. He understands how to manage time, and I think he's done that at a really high clip. And I told him, I said, you've got to take advantage. We put our guys in a hotel the night before, and maybe that's a night you need to make sure you utilize that. And if you need to get there an hour early and go to bed earlier, if you're up all night, you need to do that. So he's been very mature about how he handles that.
Have the dads on staff had any tips for him?
No, I think maybe the wives have, but he's probably much better off getting them from the wives than he is the dads, knowing that we're in the coaching world and we're most of our wives were single parents for a lot of years anyway. So, but it's awesome. I'm really happy for him, and he's obviously a very proud dad as he's flashing the pictures around every day. Thank you.